Okay, so welcome to the 5th week program, and that is on coaching. So, in continuation, you remember we talked about Hrd process model in last 3 weeks, 4 weeks in detail, in starting with the introduction, the context, and then we talked about assessment, delivery, design and impact of the training program. Now, coaching is also a kind of training intervention, Hrd intervention, which comes under on the job interventions, right. So, coaching is always provided while you are working on the job. This could be in a factory, this could also be in a field, okay, wherever you are going to provide this kind of facility either in a real life context or what you call in a simulated environment. Okay. It could be done individually where you are going for one-to-one coaching, and it could also be done in a group where one person is going to coach a group of people. For example, on the job one person, the supervisor is going to tell you how to perform a job on a particular machine. So, that is one-to-one coaching. Similarly, in a field setting, suppose there is a coach who is going to teach a number of players how to play. So, that is what we call as a team coaching, where a coach is going to coach a number of players to change their behavior and performance, right. So, coaching is a on the job method, and here what we are going to discuss is that what are the various issues, how do we go about it, how we analyze coaching situations, how we design and develop a coaching program, and ultimately how we evaluate the performance in a coaching. So, coaching is directly related to performance improvement. Now, if you look at this, what do you find that if you look at this figure, this clearly shows that is the person is being coached that how to jump from one side to other side where there are certain rings without touching it, right. So, you have to demonstrate it by way of doing it, so that you will be in a position to find out how to go about it, right. But it is not so simple, because the coach, who can also be called as a trainer, must be expert enough and should have all the knowledge, both technical and behavioral skills, to be an effective coach, right. So, what we are going to discuss start with is some basic concepts related to coaching, right, and that is how we are going to start the first session in coaching. So, when we are going to start a discussion on coaching, you must understand certain things, why it is, what is the need, what is the purpose, what are the benefits, and these kind of things that we are going to discuss in this case. So, when we are talking about coaching as such, okay. So, first there are certain things that comes to our mind, okay, that why coaching is required. Say, if I know how to do my job effectively, then coaching may not be required. Okay. But if I have the knowledge, but I am not able to perform my job effectively, then somebody has to instruct me on how to do it, right. So, if you look at the first point, which says, do people know or employees know how to perform their job effectively? Do they know how to do it? So, coaching basically helps you to answer this question, that how to perform your job effectively, so that you are able to meet the targets related to the performance, right. So, this emphasis is on how to do it. Apart from that, since management is concerned with performance of the employees, so it is not only that how we are going to do it, but whether we are doing it accurately and on time or not, that is also important. Okay. So, when it comes to managing performance, there are three things that is important. One is how we are going to do it, so that you are able to perform effectively, but at the same time there are certain constraints that you have to do it accurately and correctly as far as possible given the constraints, and you have to finish your job on time, right. So, this accuracy and time are going to create certain constraints, and if you are not able to do it on time, if the job that you are going is not done correctly, even if you are doing a number of things, probably you are not doing what is expected from you, and your performance would be called not good, right. So, it is very very important to see that how coaching is going to answer these questions. So, there could be two reasons for this. Either the person is not interested, he does not have the right kind of attitude to perform the job because of his motivation, interest and these kind of things, or he does not know how to do it. All right. So, if that is the situation, probably coaching would be a better response instead of training, right, because training is something which covers everything, but and you have to design and develop a program depending upon instilling certain specific skills or knowledge. But when it comes to coaching, here you are going to see the advantage that the person is to be coached while doing or performing a job, which may not be in the case of training. So, in that way coaching has certain advantage over training, and here you have a person who is standing behind you and he is going to tell you how to do it, and he is also trying, not only trying to make sure that how to do it, but he is also trying to ensure that you have the right kind of attitude and behavior to perform your job effectively. Okay, so that when it comes to performance management, you are meeting the targets as and when it is required. Now, if you look at this figure, it gives you certain indicators. You find people standing in different positions, right. What does it mean? Does it mean to bring about uniformity, or does it mean that they are doing different kind of things, or does it mean that they are not united? So, it could give you different kind of responses. Okay. So, when you are going to ensure that yes, managers also need to develop certain coaching skills. It is not that people who are going to perform are expected to do it in a correct and timely way, but it is also expected from managers that they have the right kind of skills to perform the job effectively. So, it is not only that you require coaching, but also managers need to be trained and they need to have or develop certain coaching skills which are important for imparting coaching. Now, if you look at this, see what happens that if you are going to coach people, then it is going to help people to improve their performance, okay, and that ultimately leads to the performance of the organization. Okay. So, coaching is to be treated here as an intervention, which will have the same set of processes as any other HRD program, right. So, if you look at coaching as a intervention, it will have who needs coaching, right. This is the assessment part. Then you are going to design and develop a coaching program. Once it is designed and developed, you have a coach, then select a coach, then the coach is going to deliver the program, or coach it, start coaching. Then you are going to evaluate in the terms that whether there is an improvement in the performance or not. And if there is an improvement in performance, then this would lead to better organizational performance. Right. So, in coaching also we exactly follow the same model that is used in any other HRD intervention, whether it is related to training or anything else. So, we will go by the same process model even for coaching to see that how we go about identifying the needs, how we go for analysis, how the coaching is done, what kind of skills are required for the coaching, how coaching was performed, what are the different phases of the coaching, then ultimately we will see that how coaching is evaluated, right. Then moving to the next part, why coaching is required, because sometimes what happens, people have the requisite knowledge, but they are not able to transfer it on the job. It means the skill part is missing, or there is a sustained behavioral change, they are not able to change behavior on a regular basis. Because if you are not going to change your behavior on a sustained basis, today you are may be able to perform, but tomorrow you will not be able to do it, right. So, coaching is something that is more individualized, where you require more engaged and context specific learning from the coaches, and that is what coaches have to understand, that they are going to help participants or coaches as they are known to see that how they are going to perform such a job using the knowledge, okay, and they are going to strengthen that behavior, so that on a sustainable basis they are going to improve their behavior, okay. And for that reason you have to see that coaches has those required skills, they are able to engage, they are very focused, that is very specific training that is to be given depending upon the requirement of the coachee, okay, so that they are able to improve their performance. Now, once we discussed it, we have to understand what coaching is basically. Okay. Now, if you look at this diagram down the line, it talks about 4 things. What? This is the role related to the coaching: inform, teach, guide and recognize. What does it mean? It means first of all you have to find out who are the people who needs coaching. So, they need to be communicated, they need to be informed. Moving to the next level, you are going to teach them how to do it, and in the process you also need to guide them. While teaching, you also need to give demos, or I mean yourself you have to do that, okay, this is how the things are going to be done, and then once he is able to do it, you need to appreciate, you need to recognize, you need to reward, so that the people are able to change their behavior on a sustainable basis. Now, with this we are going to start a discussion on what coaching is. Okay. So, there are certain definitions that you have to understand. Coach, who is a coach? So, the coach is a person who is an expert who is going to provide coaching. It could be one to one coaching, or it could be a team coaching also, right. Then you have coachee. Coachee is the person who is going to be coached, right, the one who gets the professional service. Okay. It could be the executives, the managers, okay. And finally, you have the client. Client is the organization, right. So, client is the organization, because the coaching is being done to improve your performance, so that organization or the stakeholder is happy, or it could be the HR who is going to see that yes, you are having the requisite knowledge and skill to perform well. So, the client could be the HR department, or client could be the top management or the senior managers, because they want to see improvement in your behavior and performance. So, if coachee is going to be held by the coach to improve the performance, the client has to be satisfied, including the person who is being coached. So, coachee, managers, line managers, senior managers, HR representatives, all of them become the client of the coach, because each of these stakeholders have to be satisfied, right. Ideally, if you look at in traditional terms, it has been done to improve correct poor performance, okay, and see that whether person is going to be effective, and it is linked with organizational performance. But now, if you look at coaching in general, you know that it is not only given to correct poor performance, but it is also given to achieve superior performance. So, if you are performing well, then you may be coached to have better performance. So, it is not only that coaching is given for only for poor performance, but ideally or traditionally coaching has been given only to improve your poor performance, right. So, you have to see that yes, the coachee must understand that yes, they are lacking in the performance. So, they must be aware about themselves so far as the performance is concerned, and they need to understand that they need to learn certain things on how to perform, and that is where they are going to develop a one to one relationship between the coach and the person who is to be trained. It could be a manager, it could be an executive who is called a coachee, right. So, once we have understand these terms of coach, coachee and client, we move further and see what are the coaches, what is basically associated with the coaching. Now, if you look at this, the coaching is basically concerned with a number of things. There are few things which is not written, few things which are written over here. For example, it is related to unlocking your potential. It means it helps you to unlock your potentials, it helps you to improve your performance, it could be related to certain outcomes, organizational outcomes, or and vice versa, improving your behavior, okay, other qualities, okay, which could be written on those dices where it is not given, right. So, when we are talking about coaching and how coaching is going to impact performance, we have to see that what is the role of the coach and the coachee. So, coaching involves what? Practical goal focused forms of one-on-one relationship. It means that there is a coach and there is a coachee, and it is the responsibility of the coach to provide practical and focused skill to a person, so that he learns those prerequisite skills which is required for him to change the behavior or the performance, okay, right. So, that is how the coaching is defined, and the purpose, if you look at the coaching, is to bring about a change in the behavior, okay, and also see that he personally and professionally grow, ultimately resulting in economic benefit for the client, that is the organization, right. Now, if you look at this, the number of definitions have been given by different authors from the literature, and that you can see starting with Kilberg. He said that it is basically a helping relationship between the coach and the coachee, and the client who is the management, who is basically belongs to the management, okay, of the organization. Okay. He is going to use a number of techniques and methods to help the client to see that how to identify goals to improve the behavior or performance of the coach to their satisfaction, to the satisfaction of the organization, and also to the manager, right. Now, if you look at another definition, it says that is highly personal learning process. Why he called it a highly personal learning process? It is because it is a one-to-one relationship, right, which is very much structured and organized, and this personal learning leads to what? Effective actions, improved performance or growth, right. Now, if you look at another definition which says that it is a practical goal focused form of personal one-to-one learning for executives who want to improve their performance or behavior, right, which may be related to growth in the career or performance, okay, through organizational issues or change initiatives. Now, if you look at the last definition which says that it is a feedback intervention, it means that when you are going to coach and if he is not going to make the desirable behavior, then you tell him, actually demonstrate him that how to do it. You give feedback and you ask him to correct his behavior, right, so that he is able to improve his skills. And in the process, actually coaches are required to have both technical as well as non-technical skills in order to be effective to ensure that coaching process is effective. Now, some other works that have been done by people of late, and it says that it is an experiential individualized leadership development process, where you try to develop the capability of the leader, okay, to achieve goals and objectives of the organization. And this coaching is done through one-to-one interactions, right. Now, look at another definition which says that the process of equipping people with tools, knowledge and opportunities that they need to develop themselves and become more effective. If you look at another definition by Sperry which says that yes, it is a form of executive consultation, okay, where a coach acts as a facilitator and develop a collaborative relationship with the coachee or executive to improve his skills and make sure that he is more effective, okay, and he is communicating the goals and objectives of the organization, so that he is able to focus on these kind of things to improve behavior and performance and also organizational productivity, right. If you look at the another definition which is very recent, he says that it is basically a Socratic based dialogue between the facilitator and the participant, the coach and the client, right. Sometimes because participant and the coach is also a client, okay, because you are supposed to help him. into a one-to-one relationship, right. So, it is basically it depends upon the kind of relationship that is developed between the coach and coaches, and whether both of them are aware about what is to be done, and whether the coach is taking personal responsibility for the growth and development of the participants or not. And if you look at the Acd Competency Model, that is come up in 2013, Acd stands for American Society for Training and Development, and in this competency model, they have defined coaching as a systematic process to improve others' ability to set goals, take action and maximize strength. So, now if you look at this difference, you will find that whatever earlier differences that we have taken up is included here. So, if you look at the definition purpose of coaching, in a nutshell you can say that coaching is basically is going to help the client in a one-to-one relationship to improve his behavior and performance, which could be linked with goals and objectives of the organization. The only thing about this is that it is very focused, and the coach is basically engaged in those kind of activities which helps you to improve your behavior and performance, and that is going to be very, very specific, because the requirement of the coachee or the client could be different. So, you have to see that how coach is going to help you to develop those capabilities to perform well. Now, after discussing the various definitions of coaching, look at the coach and the various routes of coaching. If you look at the various routes of coaching, it has come from different disciplines, right, starting with psychotherapy, counseling, organizational behavior, so sports psychology, management, because you know the coaching is very much prevalent in the field of the sports. So, and then how are going to be change the behavior of the people in a sports that they develop certain abilities to perform well in the field. Then it is also has roots in management education, neurosciences, and it is basically you are all applying the principles of adult learning as you have done in training, and also you also apply the principles of adult development, that how they need to be developed. Now, if you look at this, it talks about a diverse perspective, which is basically providing a route that how coaching is going to help you. Now, if you look at this, it comes out as a tree, right. So, this tree shows the different kind of coaching that is done for different kind of type of activities. It could be for managers, it could be for life coaching, it could be for performance, it could be peer coaching, where one person is going to coach his peer, it could be for careers, it could be for integrity, it could relate to finance, it could be related to health and wellness, right. It could be related to spirituality also, right, like you have gurus, spiritual gurus, which are going to coach you to improve your behavior and performance, and then you move towards more becoming more and more spiritual, or group coaching, especially in the field of sports, sales for coaching, we are going to coach sales people to improve their behavior performance for better sales performance and improved customer satisfaction. Then ontological coaching, then managerial coaching. So, you have different kind of coaching here. Transformational coaching, the idea is to change and transform the behavior of the people, and then you have team coaching. Team coaching and group coaching is basically given in the field of sports. So, now if you look at this, you have to perform variety of coaching activities depending upon the requirement, and depending upon the field also, maybe in the field of sports, maybe in the field of say a career, management training, spirituality, sales, finance, OB. So, there are different areas, and since you are going to use theories from psychology, OB, management, sports, neuroscience also. Neuroscience contributes because it brings about a change in your behavior, and you also use principles of adult learning. So, these are the theories and models that could be applied when it comes to identifying coaching. Moving further, we have to see what are the benefits of the coaching. What does this figure indicate? This figure shows that how you are going to coordinate your activities to perform in this way, and this requires extensive coaching. It means you have to coordinate and integrate your activities with other people, right. And here the coach is going to help you to see that you are able to perform as per the expectations, right. It is a show where you will find some people have made certain forms using 2 ladders, and that is how they are in a standing position, right. Actually, it is not possible to do it in that way, but you need to develop certain skills to behave in a particular way. So, you need to develop not only those skills, but you need to see that how you are going to coordinate and integrate your activities with others. For example, in a game, whether it is a football or say baseball or basketball, or where you are going to play in groups. See, the members of the group are going to coordinate their activities with each other. If they do not, then probably it will not be possible for them to play and win the game. So, if you look at the benefits of the game or the coaching it basically helps you to improve your quality and productivity, it boosts your enthusiasm, motivation, because you get applaud, appreciation, rewards if you are going to perform well. It also strengthens relationship and communication. Like in a game, all the players develop good relationship with each other and also communicate, and if that is not possible, probably they will not be able to perform well. So, it is linked with performance actually, and once you perform well, it brings satisfaction, intrinsic satisfaction. Okay. And it also helps you to develop teamwork. So, coaching basically is, when it is given in team context, basically the idea is to see that all the members come together, okay, and follow certain rules and dynamics of the team to perform effectively. And it also helps in building trust and loyalty, right, between the coach and the coaches. It could be one-to-one relationship or one-to group relationship. Now, you look at the role of the supervisor. See, this is a game of basketball, right. You have a coach and you are having coaches. What he is going to tell? As a coach, where supervisor is going to perform the role of a coach, is going to tell him that what are the different positions that you need to take, okay, and that is being demonstrated by the coach or the supervisor while playing the game. So, the role of the supervisor is very, very important, right. So, the role of the supervisor is to see that he is able to motivate the group to succeed, right. Whatever information and knowledge and skill he has, he is going to make use of it to ensure that you are able to develop those knowledge and skill base to succeed. And you also try to coach and sometimes you counsel also, so you take double responsibility. Suppose somebody is not able to do it, so he gets demotivated. So, you need to counsel him to see that how he comes up, right, and also have the authority to do coaching. So, somebody is not able to do it, so you can rebuke him, okay, you can scold him, you can punish him, is not able to do properly, so that he comes on track. So, supervisor has a very important role, provided he is going to perform the role of a coach. Now, apart from that, he is also responsible for the effectiveness. If your team is not able to perform well, so the blame goes to the coach, right. So, as a coach, if you have the responsibility to ensure that your people, your client is able to perform well and is satisfied with the job. Now, coming to the responsibility of the Hrd professionals. Hrd professionals are supposed to analyze the requirement of the coaching, design and develop coaching program, find out a coach, and then make sure that the coach delivers the result, and then the Hrd people are going to evaluate it, and that is the responsibility of the Hrd professionals in the process. So, he is going to provide training to the coaches, training to the correct performance, provide all kind of support to the coaching process, right. And in that way, as I told you that yes, coaching is also an Hrd intervention. So, Hrd professionals are responsible for assessment of the requirement, design development program, identifying skills, if required training coaches or outsource coaches, and make sure that these coaches are going to help people to improve their performance. Right. Ultimately, look at the role of the coach, what a coach is going to do. Okay. So, once the coach is appointed, he has to go through certain processes basically to establish and clarify the goals. Okay. Okay. And then once he is able to do it, he is going to develop an action plan based on the tasks and responsibilities that is given to the people, and then make sure that each member of the team has a clear definition and understanding of their roles and responsibilities. And then also you have to ensure that how they are going to coordinate and integrate their activities with the other person, right. align their expectations with members of the team. For example, in a hockey match, so you know that if you are going to pass on, the next person has to know that okay, if he is going to pass the ball, then it is his responsibility to take it, right. So, these kind of expectations need to be aligned, and this has to be developed by the coach, that how to go about it. Then he is also going to advise, instruct and demonstrate how to go about it. I mean, how when you are going to play as a team, what are the behaviors and skills that is required, and it is his responsibility to provide feedback for improvement and encourage, also motivate you to see this is what you need to do, this is how you are going to do it, right. So, that you are able to perform well. And we also need to differentiate between mentoring and coaching. See, we have been talking about coaching and mentoring sometimes simultaneously, but you need to have a very clear difference, because if you are talking about mentoring, a mentor is someone who is a very senior experienced professional who is responsible for the growth and development of someone who is junior in the organization, right. So, you have a mentor and a mentee, it could be formal or it could be informal. Okay. The idea is that the mentor is going to help the mentee to develop the knowledge and skill, and also ensure that his personal and professional growth takes place, right. While in coaching, basically the idea is to improve the performance on the job, right. So, that is the major difference between mentoring and the coaching, though we will take up this topic on mentoring separately, but you need to make a difference between mentoring and coaching. And finally, you have to see the framework for understanding coaching. What are the antecedents, what is the process, what are the immediate outcomes, and what are the outcomes that you expect at a later stage. So, antecedents means that what are the characteristics of the coach, what are the characteristics of the coaches, and what kind of support is required. And then how coaching is done in terms of process, how you develop relationship, how you provide feedback, and then whether this leads to better understanding about themselves and whether learning takes place or not. If you better understand yourselves, then you know how to overcome your weaknesses, develop your strengths, that leads to individual success, and if learning takes place, you improve your performance, which results in organizational success. Thank you very much.